Welcome to another episode of Dank Times Danker Thoughts with me, Angelo. I think this is episode 106. And unlike the last podcast where I was just lamenting the fall of American civilization because of Roe v. Wade and how that will snowball and affect other landmark cases such as marriage equality, LGBTQ rights, workers' rights, yada, 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 yada. We really are letting the lunatic fringe hold sway over this country. The lunatic fringe may only be 15 to 20% of the population, but good God, do they know how to get elected? Anyway, instead of spending a half hour or 40 minutes lamenting the fall of America, like so many other great falls, the Romans, the Greeks, the British, the French, the Spanish, and we're gonna fall next. And you see that it's probably gonna be China or India that's gonna be the next great superpower. But anyway, we are going to do rapid news stories here. So, you probably saw there was some early voting that's happening across the country. Specifically, I know in Michigan and Ohio so far. I'll give you the bad news first. So far, I think something like 20 representatives that got the former president Donald Trump's endorsement has won. The biggest being J.D. Vance winning in Ohio. But I think it's also important to note Ohio is a Republican, specifically a Donald Trump stronghold. I don't think any Democrat is going to do anything in Ohio for the next 10 to 20 years because of their own fuck ups, of course, but also because of just dirty politics, gerrymandering, and making it damn near impossible for people of color to vote in that state. Not the only state that's having restrictive voting rights. We'll get to that in a second. But, well, because I brought it up, we might as well talk about it now. This is in Florida, and this just happened today. A federal appeals court reinstates portions of Florida's restrictive voting law. So Florida's bad. You know how bad Georgia is. Ohio's bad. Texas is bad. It's really just the red states. A federal appeals court reinstated Friday provisions of Florida GOP-led voting law, overruling a lower court that said the provisions aimed to suppress black voters. The law included restrictions on vote-by-mail ballots and drop boxes, which civil rights advocates have said makes voting more difficult for black people. It's one of dozens of voting restrictions brought by Republicans in state legislatures following the 2020 election. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, a three-judge panel, said there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove the law was intended to discriminate. The judges noted in their opinion that the Supreme Court instructs courts to presume the good faith of the state legislature. Well, there's your first fuck up right there. When examining possible discriminatory intent in a statute per the Miami Herald. In its 288-page opinion, good God, the district court never once mentioned the presumption, they wrote. And while we do not require courts to incant magic words, it does not appear to us that the district court here meaningfully accounted for the presumption at all. The lower court ruling is temporarily blocked as an appeal continues. So what does this mean? The decision means the law's provisions will likely be in effect come November. So yay. But let's go back to the original story. I was talking about J.D. Vance and the Trump endorsements. So it shows me that so far, now there's more races coming up. There's one in West Virginia. There's one coming up in North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Where's another one? Idaho is another one. Oh shit, Georgia. So there's a few more states coming up, but the Ohio one is done. And every single candidate that Trump endorsed won. To me, this shows that at least in states where Trump either heavily won or just won, he still holds sway over the Republican Party. Now, Georgia, for example, is not a Trump stronghold. I can't imagine Trump's going to do good in Georgia. Ohio is not a surprise to me. But we do want to see what comes up with West Virginia. I guess he's putting his, I'm not going to go through the list here, but if you want, go look up Trump endorsements and you can see all of them. I like to see maybe half of them fail. That's me being hopeful. But on to some good news. In Michigan, a shocker, as a Democrat wins a House seat in a GOP-held stronghold in the state of Michigan. Democrat Carol Glanville won a special election in the 74th Michigan House District, scoring an upset victory in what is traditionally regarded as a GOP-leaning area. West Michigan values of integrity, decency, and care for the common good won tonight, Glanville said. The people of the 74th District have spoken, and I hear you. We are united in fundamental ways, and I will take our values and concerns to the Capitol to effect positive change. Glanville will serve for about 8 months in the State House ahead of another primary in August and general election in November. She defeated Republican candidate Robert R.J. Regan and write-in candidate Mike Wilanowski, filing Mark Huizinga's vacated seat after he was elected to the 28th Senate District. This is good, because you need shocking surprises like this, especially before the midterms, because I'm a broken record here. I've said it once, I've said it again, but it does not look good for Biden and the Democrats coming up in the midterms. I think the abortion fight may help, but I don't think it's going to sway a lot of voters. It'll sway some. It'll sway some of the independents, and you may actually get some Democrats winning some seats or holding on to some seats, but I think Biden's still going to lose both chambers. He's absolutely going to lose one as of now. As I record this, what is it, May 6th? Is it May? January, February, March, April, May. Good God, I can't believe it's May. As I say this, May 6th, but anything could change. I know that they are going to do a codify vote next week in the Senate for Roe v. Wade, which is ultimately going to fail. I can't imagine any Republican voting for it. And there are some Democrats like the Manchin and Sienema's that they may vote against it. And I don't think Murkowski and Collins, the so-called independents on the Republican stage, are going to change their vote either. So the benefit of this is that you're going to see every senator show what they voted for. And then that's going to be a big, big, big deal in the midterms. But as of now, like I said, I can't imagine it's going to sway wildly. You may sway some, and it may help the Democrats hold on to some, but not all. But moving on to more rapid fire, I spoke a couple of weeks ago about the effort in Georgia to kick out Marjorie Taylor Greene from appearing on the re-election bid because of her support and really just batshit craziness about the January 6th insurrection. However, more bad news. Left-wing efforts to disqualify some Republican members of Congress from seeking re-election on the basis that they engaged in the insurrection on January 6, 2021, suffered another blow on Friday with a Georgia judge finding that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Hyena Queen, is in the clear to seek a second term. 5 voters in Greene's district, working with liberal activists and scholars, challenged her candidacy by arguing she engaged in insurrection with her rhetoric in the lead up to the Capitol riot. On the witness stand in April, Greene repeatedly said she did not recall making such comments. Oh, so she has Alzheimer's, just like our president. And that she called for a peaceful demonstration and that she was unaware of plans for violence. Text and voicemail say otherwise, you lying, cheating, traitorous, hooah, skank, cunt. Friday's decision, rejecting the Georgia voters' challenge, is the latest in a string of efforts to disqualify candidates over ties to the January 6th riot. A judge in March blocked a challenge for Madison Cawthorn, which that guy may open up an OnlyFans at this point, on similar grounds after challengers argued that his involvement with former President Trump's Stop the Steal rally on January 6th made him ineligible for office. Voting Right nonprofit Free Speech for People, which is behind both the Greene and Cawthorn challenges, also tried to keep Representative Andy Biggs and Paul Gosar from Arizona off the ballot based on January 6th. A Maricopa County Superior Court judge dismissed those complaints last month, saying that plaintiffs did not have the legal authority to challenge their candidacies. So fun times. You can support an insurrection. You can support traitors. You may not be called terrorists, because I do not think January 6th was a terrorist act, specifically by the people that were doing it. But the ones that were behind the scenes, that's a little bit more murky water. But it's just sad to me that you can have elected officials going against democracy and the very fabric that makes this country whole, and they will face no consequences. They will all probably get reelected, and we'll just have to continue this shit show on the Republicans, because I cannot believe that more Republicans don't care about the insurrection. I understand Democrats do, But the Democrats have to understand that Republican voters and independent voters that tend to be conservative do not care as much about the January 6th insurrection as we do. In fact, they don't even call it a insurrection. So if I was running the midterm re-election bid for Democrats, I would say, number one talking point, you have to talk about the economy. You have to. You have to. Then Roe v. Wade, then immigration, then you have to start slamming the Republicans for their fight on voting rights, fight them on environmental policies, fight them on climate change, and fight them on January 6th, but use that as a feather in your cap kind of argument. The only people that want to hear about the January 6th riot and want people to be tarred and feathered and kicked on the ass out of the country were already going to vote Democrat before the insurrection even happened. That's my opinion anyway. But anyway, more rapid fire. Amazon abruptly fires senior managers tied to the unionized warehouse. Oh, lovely. After Amazon employees at a massive warehouse on Staten Island scored an upset union victory last month, it turned the union's leaders into celebrities, sent shockwaves through the broader labor movement, and prompted politicians around the country to rally behind Amazon workers. And I got to give a big shout out to the president and the vice president who met with the Amazon labor union head, Chris Smalls. He got invited to the White House. He was joking that he was only meeting Kamala Harris, not that big of a deal. But Joe Biden surprised everyone, said, no, they're going to meet with me as well. That's huge. That's huge. So I commend the president wholeheartedly on this one. Now it also appears to have created fallout within Amazon's management ranks. On Thursday, Amazon informed more than a half dozen senior managers involved with the Staten Island warehouse that they were being fired, according to 4 current and former employees with knowledge of the situation. The firings, which occurred outside the company's typical employee review cycle, were seen by the managers and other people who work at the facility as a response to the victory by the Amazon labor union. Workers at the warehouse voted by a wide margin to form the first union at the company in the United States and one of the biggest victories for organized labor in at least a generation. Now, the firings are looking like a condition of anonymity out of fear of retaliation. Word of the shakeup spread through the warehouse Thursday. Many of the managers had been responsible for implementing the company's response to the unionization effort. Several were veterans of the company with more than 6 years of experience. Workers who supported the union complained that the company's health and safety protocols were too lax, particularly as they relaxed COVID-19 and repetitive strain injuries, and that the company pushed them too hard to meet performance targets, often at the expense of sufficient breaks. Many also said that pay at the warehouse, which starts at more than $18 per hour for full-time workers, was too low to live on in New York City. So they fired the managers who were probably pro-Amazon and were doing everything they could to pass the corporate rhetoric nonsense. Didn't work, so they got fired for it. That's ridiculous. But now we're going to switch to Starbucks here. Starbucks, and this is illegal, by the way, completely illegal. Starbucks plans wage increases that won't apply to unionized workers. Howard Schultz, you're a real cunt, dirtbag, whore, slut, bitch ass, motherfucker. Starbucks announced that it was raising pay and expanding training at corporate-owned locations in the United States, but it said the changes would not apply to the recently unionized stores or to stores that may be in the process of unionizing. Ridiculous. That's so illegal, it's not even funny. And by the way, the National Labor Relations Board has already filed a charge on this, or filed a challenge on this. So it's not going to go through. Starbucks has already come back and said, oh, we didn't mean it like this, but you can damn well know they did mean it. They didn't think he was going to get caught. Go fuck yourself, Starbucks. And continuing with Starbucks, Starbucks rebukes meeting between Biden and union members. Oh, I mean, come on. It just came out a couple days ago that they made more money last year or the last quarter than they ever have. So if this threat of unionization actually raises wages, well then fantastic. However, don't threaten and persecute those who have already gotten unionized votes. Come on. What the fuck? This is America. Starbucks criticized a recent meeting at the White House with representatives of labor unions for major companies that included members of a growing union within the coffee company itself. In a letter sent to the White House, Starbucks said it was deeply concerned that Workers United was invited to the labor union meeting while not inviting Starbucks official representatives because they were celebrating union workers. And when you're anti-union, why would you be invited to a pro-union meeting, you thick bitch? Starbucks employees at multiple locations have voted to join the National Union Workers United since December amid a much larger labor movement, which has been publicly supported by both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Members of Starbucks Workers United were invited, along with representatives of labor unions with other major companies, to a roundtable with Kamala Harris and Labor Secretary Marty Walsh. During that meeting, Biden made an impromptu appearance and thanked the worker organizers for their leadership in organizing unions. We are deeply concerned that Workers United, which is actively engaged in collective bargaining with us and trying to organize all of our stores and our 240,000+ partners, was invited to the meeting while not inviting official Starbucks representatives to discuss our views on the matter. AJ Jones, Starbucks Senior Vice President of Global Communications and Public Affairs, said in the letter, "We believe this lack of representation discounts the reality that the majority of our partners oppose being members of a union. Then how come they keep winning? And the unionization tactics being deployed by Workers United." Oh, you mean doing what the workers want? "As such, I am requesting the opportunity to meet with you and bring a diverse representative group of Starbucks partners from across the country to the White House so that they can share points of view and experiences that are vastly different from those presented by Workers United." Well, you cunts, wait till a Republican wins in 2024, then I'm sure you will get invited. I'm sure labor busting will be the biggest craze since them trying to teach critical race theory in schools. The National Labor Relations Board has accused Starbucks of retaliating against workers involved in organizing a union. Workers United has filed several unfair labor practices charges against Starbucks, while the company has filed unfair labor practice charges against the National Labor Union. Oh, so it's he said, she said. It's like divorced parents arguing at each other while the poor child just sits there in the middle. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz returned to the company in the interim after former CEO Kevin Johnson retired from the company in April. It is seeking to find a permanent leader by the fall. Schultz said last month that the company is being assaulted in many ways by the threat of unionization. Well, Howard Schultz, if you ever see me, Starbucks won't be the only thing getting assaulted. So, not all bad news, but a lot of bad news, but some good news in terms of unions. But with that, let's move on. We are going to do something a little bit fun here. I talked in the last podcast about fictosexual stuff with made-up characters. Fictosexual means you are sexually attracted to a animated or anime character. They're a fictitious character, so it gets weird. There was some guy in Japan that was fucking stuffed animals of this teenager Japanese character that's a hologram now. It's fucking wild. But anyway, it got me thinking which ones I would do, and then my brain went even further and thought, if I had to fight all of the Disney princes, which ones could I take? Now, when I say fight, I'm talking fighting for my life. Like, think the movie Gladiator. I'm Russell Crowe, because that's how I see myself in real life every day when I look at myself in the mirror. And instead of me slaughtering Christians and other Romans, I would get the Disney princes. So I have a list of all the Disney princes, and I have 4 categories I'm going to put them in. The first category is that I would beat his ass. I'd beat him good. I could do some kind of male dominance, maybe some teabagging, something. The second category is it's going to be a 50-50 fair fight. I think if we fight 100 times, I may win 49 or 51. Who knows? But it's going to be a fair fight. So that's a second category. Third category is that I would get my ass pwned by this Disney prince. And they may do whatever they want to do to me after they beat me. They want to do anything sexual, cool. If they want to do something romantic because they are princes, that's cool too. The fourth category is they would straight up kill me. Easy peasy. I'm talking quick death, instantaneous death. I'm talking ripping the skeleton out of my body kind of death. So those are the 4 categories. We're now going to look at the list of Disney princes, and I'll try to remember what movie they're from. First one, King Florian from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He's 31 years old and he wants to bang a teenager, so he's already a little bit of a pedo-y dork. So I feel like I could beat this Florian douche pretty easily. Anyone who's involved with the teenager, I think, is going to be an easy fight. Moving on to Prince Charming from Cinderella. This guy's a fucking pretty boy. He probably is all wrists when he swings at me. You know what I'm saying? He's a real 1990s word that we can't say anymore. So I'm 2 for 2 here. The third one is King Philip from Sleeping Beauty. I don't see a lot of difference between this jabroni than the other two. So again, I think I'm going to beat his ass pretty good. And in fact, I may embarrass him a little bit and I may teabag him. I may take my balls and just put them on his mouth. Because, you know, I've already beat him. I might as well assert dominance. Let's see. Prince Eric. Or Captain Eric. Again, he's another pedo pervert, you know. He's, I think, in his 30s, and he's in love with the teenager from the sea who also can't talk. I mean, he's a little bit of a creepo. But he is a sailor, so you would like to think sailors know how to fight a little bit. But I don't remember him being a skilled fighter. So you know what? I'm putting Captain Eric here as a 50-50 fight. I think more often than not, I'd bend him over and have my way with him. But every now and then he may surprise me and beat me. So Captain Eric is our first 50-50. Now this one is actually going to have two different answers. Prince Adam from Beauty and the Beast. And you may think to yourself, who the fuck is Prince Adam? Oh, he was the Beast, but this is his human form. So I would say in his human form, he's going to be like Captain Eric. It's going to be a 50-50 fight. Because this Adam motherfucker was once like a 10-foot beast. Like some Sasquatch, Harry and the Hendersons type looking motherfucker. So he's going to retain some of that fighting style, some of that anger, that animalistic instinct. So he's going to beat me then. But if he's fighting like the noble looking pansy that he is, I think I could school him just like the other Prince Charmings of the world. So I'm going to say fair fight. Now, when it comes to the Beast, he would kill me so quickly. He would just charge at me, and all I would be able to do is, like, move really quickly, but it doesn't matter, because, like, if I go right, he's going to grab me with his right arm. If I go left, he's just going to snap me in half. So I think the Beast would straight up kill me real quick. And then he may even eat me afterwards, which, you know, it's only fair. Let's see. Aladdin. Oof. If it's mano-a-mano with Aladdin, I'm going to own his ass. But if he has his little monkey with him, then it's going to be a fair fight. But what's his monkey's name? Abu? Yeah. If it's Aladdin and Abu, 50-50 fight. But if it's just Aladdin, oh man, it wouldn't even be fair. Yeah, he's a little bit of a thief and he's quick and everything, but I think he's a kid too. So like, I feel like I could beat the shit out of him. I really do. And then I'm going to take the rug and say, this is mine now. And I'm going to take the genie lamp and say, this is also mine. And I'll ask Jasmine, do you want to be with a real man? Because Jasmine is probably top 5 hottest Disney princesses ever. So, ooh, yeah, I would make sure she sees what I do to Aladdin. But, yeah, fuck Aladdin. Okay, next one. Captain John Smith in Pocahontas. Now, this guy, I think, is the first guy who would beat my ass. I don't think he would kill me, but he definitely would beat me. I mean, you're fighting savages. You're voiced by Mel Gibson, who's a nut job. And you're being in Pocahontas, which is also top 5 hottest princess ever. Yeah, I really think he would kick the shit out of me real good. I think he would stomp me, actually. Ooh, another one. Captain Li Shang from Mulan. I think Li Shang would beat me pretty good. And in fact, he may kill me if he has orders to. But you know, he's a military guy. Yeah, he's killing me for sure. But this one, you know what? I'm on the fence. Either way, I'm losing to this guy. And I think if he wants to finish the job, he knows how to do it. He may just, after he's defeated me, and Joaquin Phoenix gives him the thumbs up or down, like do whatever you want, Li Shang just may rip out my throat. Who knows, man? This guy is a fucking nut job. He has to. He's fighting fucking Mongolians. Jesus, this is before the wall. All right, moving on. Princess and the Frog Jabroni. I never saw this movie, but I'm just looking at the image of him. He looks like another Prince Charming motherfucker. So just going off the image, I beat his ass pretty easily. And I don't know much about Tiana because I didn't see the movie, so I don't know if she's a top 5 princess, so I really wouldn't care. I've seen some of the highlights, so I know they're both frogs too. So if he's in frog form, Ugh, I would hate to kill a frog. I like frogs a lot. I have a lot of them around the house, but I'd have to, if it's for my life, I have to kill the frog. Ugh, I feel sad just thinking about it. But if he's human form, this Prince Naveen, I think I beat his ass pretty easily. Let's see. Oh, Flynn from Tangled. He's a pretty scrappy guy, and he's pretty quick. He's like a better version of Aladdin. So I would say 50-50 with this guy. Unlike Aladdin, who I would just get in a headlock and just dropping stone cold stunners on his ass, I think Flynn would be a 50-50 fight. Okay, then we got Kristoff Bjorgman from Frozen. I don't know this guy. This isn't the main guy from Frozen, the guy that was fucking that reindeer. Is this the guy? Prince or King Kristoff? Well, is he a king or a prince? Oh, I don't know. But if I remember all the male characters from Frozen, I feel like I could beat his ass pretty good. Although he is pretty thick, especially his ass and legs. You know what? I take it back. I think King Kristoff here is a 50-50 fight. All right, then we have the Black Cauldron. Oh, that little scrawny bookworm guy. Oh man, it'd be like fighting Lisa Simpson. I'd be pounding his ass. I'd break his glasses. Sorry, Taryn, you're going down easily. Next is, oh fuck, Hercules. Yeah, okay, Hercules is definitely gonna kill me. And in fact, he may have his way with me before he kills me. Hercules is a weird Greek fuck, and they like fucking with boys there. So I think after he has his way with me, he's going to stick a lightning bolt up my ass, and that's how I'm going to die. He's going to be like a real Mortal Kombat, finish him kind of guy. And how can you not be? Dude, he's an ancient Greek. Those guys were badass. I have it coming. Yeah, Hercules would kick the shit out of me and kill me easily. Oh my god, the next one's just as bad is Tarzan. Yeah, Tarzan would kill me. I think it wouldn't be as quick as the beast, but it would be pretty quick death. He would just grab me and snap my neck real quick. I mean, he's got like gorilla monkey strength. So yeah, that would be a quick fight, quick death for me. Then we got the jabroni from Atlantis, Milo. Oh, I never saw Atlantis, but if he's like Aquaman, I bet I could take his ass. Fuck that guy. Yeah, I can beat his ass. Moving on is Robin Hood. Oh, dude, I couldn't kill a fox. Especially, wasn't he a tall fox? Wasn't he like 4 or 5 feet? If he's a 4 to 5 foot tall fox, he's definitely killing me. I can't keep him at a distance, and if he closes in, he's just gonna grab my neck in his jaws, and it's over. It's over. It's night night, baby. But if it's like fox size, like real life fox, oh, God, I would hate to kill a fox. But if it's for my life, you got to do it. So I'd have to kill the fox. But if he's like life size, like human size fox, oh, I'd be fucked. Simba, another one. I'm fighting a lion. I'm dead real quick. Unless it's a lion cub. And again, this is a nightmare scenario. I mean, I'm killing frogs. I'm killing foxes. And I'm killing a baby lion? Shit. But again, if it's for my life, then I would kill the baby lion and I would just die inside. And I would never be the same. But I think if this is Prince Simba, he's probably the adult Simba. He's probably the Matthew Broderick Simba, not the JTT Simba. So yeah, if I'm fighting a fucking lion, I'm donezo. Kovu. Oh yeah, that's Scar's kid. Again, I'm fighting a lion. I'm dead. So dead. And some of you may not know, Scar did have a kid. There was Lion King sequels, and one of them, Scar's kid becomes the main character. And of course, Scar would have children. I mean, he was banging all of the lionesses for like a decade. Robert Phillip. Enchanted. Oh, that's Patrick Dempsey. Oh man. Well, he's like a blue collar guy from New York. I forget what his job is in that movie. Isn't he like he's a handyman or some shit? God, I saw that movie a long time ago with some chick I wanted to bang and it did not work out. So I haven't seen the movie since, but I remember that Patrick Dempsey was not a prince, but I think he became a prince in the movie. Am I thinking of the right movie? Either way, if I'm fighting Patrick Dempsey, I think it's going to be a 50-50 fight. And then halfway through it, I'm going to fall in love with him because of that jawbone structure of his. So then he would beat my ass. And we actually may end up falling in love. Prince Ray from Kalala Princess Disney manga? Disney. Oh, if he's a manga character, dude, I'd beat his ass. Unless he's like some monster. But let me take a look. Who is this? Oh, dude, he's like a teenager. Yeah, I'd beat his ass so easily. And these aren't princes per se, but there's a separate list here of just Disney heroes. So I thought, why not? We can quickly go through this list. Because so far, I'm getting my ass kicked every now and then. I'm dying a lot more than getting my ass kicked, and I am pounding a lot of smug, pretty boy, prince ass in this scenario. And, it's like I'm fighting any pretty boy that you grow up with in high school that always get the chicks and always win things. That's whose ass I'm fighting. Because most Disney princes are like pompous, high society. Oh, you're talking to me, serf. Don't make eye contact, slave. Those kind of people. So I wouldn't feel so bad about beating them. But these are just non-princes, but, male characters in Disney. Mickey Mouse. Oh man, I would love to beat up Mickey Mouse because he is the face of Disney. Disney is a fucking awful company, although they make dope ass movies. So Mickey Mouse, I'm sorry, but I'm snapping that neck, baby. We got Pinocchio. I'm sorry, Pinocchio. I loved you growing up. You're one of my favorite movies, even though it was a little bit hallucinogenic a few times. That's probably why I like smoking weed so much, is because I watched Pinocchio as a child. And I don't care if you start lying so much that your nose becomes a weapon. I'm grabbing you and I'm throwing you in the fire. I am sorry, Pinocchio. Even if you're a real boy. If you're a real boy, I'm straight up killing a child. That'd be horrific. But I would think that they would send me the wooden boy Pinocchio. I don't feel bad about beating a fucking talking piece of wood. Fuck that noise. Now, if it was an Ent from Lord of the Rings, I would say, I'm not killing you, just kill me, because I love Ents. But anyway, fuck you, Pinocchio. You're going down. Bambi. Oh, dude, I can't kill a baby deer. Although deers are assholes in real life. And I don't know what size Bambi we're talking about. We're talking like grown-up Bambi or baby Bambi. Now, if it's a baby Bambi, I mean, again, it'll be a quick death. I'll try to make it a quick Bambi. I'm sorry. Now, if it's like teenage or adult Bambi, I think he's going to kill me because deer kill people. If he doesn't know what, I take it back. He may kill me, but I think I'm going to lose no matter what. But I think I have a higher chance of getting my ass kicked and living than him killing me. Unless he knocks me unconscious, and then he just beats my skull in with his giant hooves. So either way, I'm losing to him. Arthur. Oh, from the Sword and the Stone. Yeah, he's a teenager. But if he has the sword, I'm probably done for. But if it's hand-to-hand combat, dude, I'm gonna fucking grab your skull like the mountain. You know what I'm saying, Arthur? You got shit on me. Mowgli from the Jungle Book. Even though he's a teenager, he's like a little Tarzan. So I think it would be a 50-50 fight. Because I don't think he's as strong as Tarzan, but I think if Mowgli gets like on my back and he could choke me out or maybe pull my shoulder out of its socket, but I don't think he'd kill me. I think he would beat me more than I would beat him, but if I would beat him, I think I'd have to like really get in there and avoid him crawling all over me with his weird like jungle skills. So yeah, 50-50 fight for Mowgli. Peter Pan. Oh, dude. Peter Pan, you don't stand a chance, fairy boy. Unless he's flying around and shit, and he has like Tinkerbell and like all those fucking kids with him. And that would be a tough fight. That'd be death. If I have to fight everyone, they would just kill me. They would just overwhelm me and then like suffocate me with their bodies. But if it's mano-y-mano, me and Peter Pan, he doesn't stand a chance. Quasimodo for Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, he'd kill me. He would kill me. He has that special edge strength. He would just get his hand on me. He would just lift up his weird, like, strangely long arm. He's like a crab. And he would just grab my head and just squeeze. And it would be done. I think Quasimodo would make quick work of me. Real quick. And we got Woody from Toy Story. Again. Dead inside, but... Oh, God. Toy Story may have been the first child, like, series that I saw as a child that changed me. God damn, I love Toy Story. But if I'm fighting for my life... Sorry, Woody. I'm snapping you in half. I'm throwing you on the ground and kicking you a few times because I know you're magical. I don't like magic. Flick from A Bug's Life. I mean, it's an insect. I'm killing it real quick. Princess Dot from A Bug's Life. Oh, she was a baby too. Doesn't matter. It's an insect. I'll stomp them out pretty easily. Ling, Yao, and Xing Po from Mulan. Well, they're not main. I guess they're kind of main characters with Mulan. But if I'm taking on 3 guys, they would kill me so quickly. So yeah, if I had to fight all 3 at the same time, not a fair fight. No matter what, I'm losing. And they're probably going to kill me. There was that one nut job that was like Wolverine in that movie. Isn't it crazy? All 3 of those characters are supposed to be Chinese, and they're all voiced by white people, I think. Or just basically not Chinese people. I don't know if they're all white. Who the fuck knows? What did I have to start shit? Jim from Treasure Planet. I never saw Treasure Planet, so I may have to skip this one. Jim from Treasure Planet. The first thing that comes to mind is Jim from The Office. But you know what? I shouldn't skip this. Let's take a look. Jim from Treasure Planet. What does this jabroni look like? God, he looks like a real emo. How old is he? He is 15. Man, I could take a 15-year-old. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jim from Treasure Planet, and you're 15. I'm beating that ass. Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. I'm ashamed and embarrassed to say I have never seen this movie, so I don't know. I can't speak about this. I know that he is kind of a preppy, cocky prince, and then he gets turned into a llama, and that's all I know. So I can't. This is the one I have to legit skip because I don't know. I've never seen it. Although I never saw Treasure Planet, and I made a snap judgment based on the pictures. But I feel like The Emperor's New Groove deserves the respect of watching it before I make a wild claim. So moving on. Jack Skellington, Nightmare Before Christmas. How can you even kill him? It would haunt me if I end up killing him because I love this character, but he's already dead. So how could I kill him? So just by that alone, I feel like he would kill me. I think he would kill me regardless. I mean, he's from Halloween Town. Like, they're all fucking monsters there anyway. Fighting a human, they would just take me down there like they did Santa Claus. Well, no, Santa Claus is magical. I'm not magical, even in this scenario. So yeah, he would kill me real quick. So I shouldn't even worry about the depression that would come from me killing Jack Skellington. I wouldn't stand a chance. Kanai from Brother Bear. I mean, he's a fucking bear. So yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. It would be like fighting the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Quick death. Just a charge, a swipe, and then I'm like a puddle of a, like a meat fleshy thing. That's it. Last one, Prince Edward from Enchanted. Oh, that's James Marsden. You know, I'll give him the Patrick Dempsey treatment. I feel like we would start fighting, and it would be a fair fight, 50-50, too close to call, and then we'd fall in love. And same thing. I don't know who's more attractive, James Marsden or Patrick Dempsey. I mean, they're not, you know, in real life, they're nowhere near my top 100. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, James Marsden was Cyclops. And Patrick Dempsey was in that medical show that every woman loves, where he plays McHunk, Dr. McHunk, Dr. Hunk. I don't know. I think he did play Dr. Hunk. McHunk? Was he an Irish? McHunk? I don't know. I'm talking shit. You know what I'm talking about. Grey's Anatomy. That's the show I couldn't think of. But yeah, Patrick Dempsey, James Marsden, getting the same treatment. We start as foes, we end as lovers, and we all live happily ever after. So yeah, there's the Disney princes fight, Gladiator style. I think I'm pounding most of them. There's a few fair fights in there. I'm definitely losing some, and I'm definitely dying. I'm dying a lot when I'm fighting these guys. So actually what I may do next podcast is do the same thing, but with the villains. And I'll keep it equality. If there's a female villain, I'll talk about fighting the chick just as much as I'm fighting the bro. Because much like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I believe in equality. So let's move on. Well, last night I finished the series. That was the series finale. The show is not coming back for a 6th season, which makes me tear up just talking about it now, which is the show Better Things. I love this show. I love it so much. And I was so depressed and a little bit despondent after the last episode, just because, you know, in my own head, I had how I would want the finale to be. And that's not the finale that Better Things gave me, which is not bad. It was a beautiful ending, but it wasn't like closure. We still have these 5 characters, well, really 6 or 7 characters that you've basically watched grow up, specifically with the kids. It's at a crossroads for some of their characters, and we're not going to see how it turns out because season 6 ain't happening as of yet, which is sad. But it got me thinking, why does the show mean so much to me? Why does it evoke such emotional responses from me? And last night, when I was high on indica, thankfully not sativa, thank God I got all that sativa out of my system and out of the house. But the indica I smoked last night, I overdid it, so I was kind of a space cadet orbiting Saturn last night, so I couldn't sleep. And I just finished the series, and I was thinking, why am I so affected by this? It's not just marijuana. It's not just because I'm tired, but why? And then it kind of dawned on me that the reason I like this show so much is that it reminds me of my mom. My mom also likes the show. I got her hooked on the show as well. But the series is about a single mom who has very bad, well, to put it mildly, a checkered past with almost every man in her life, from her brother, her father, her ex-husband, men she dates. So I see a little correlation there between the main character that Pamela Adlon plays, Sam, as I do with my mom. My mom is a little bit the same way. She has a very checkered past with almost every man in her life. God knows that my father and my deceased sister's father really ran her into the ground, really fucked her up. So I see that. But I also see what a good mother the character is on the show, and it reminds me of my mom again. Now, of course, that's kind of where the similarities end because my mom was never an actress in California. She had me instead of three daughters. Well, she had a daughter, but unfortunately she's deceased. So there's a difference there. And the relationship on the show between Sam and her mom, who plays her mom? Celia Emery, which I have never seen her in anything else, but she is excellent in it. I don't have that. Or my mom doesn't have that with my grandmother because she's dead a long time ago. She may have, but it was before my time. And the show just touches on a lot of things that me and my mom have experienced or talked about. And I look at how the character of Sam on the show, how she parents, and I kind of look at it, that's how I would want to parent. My mom did a great job raising me. I think if I was a daughter, things would have been a little bit different, but still positive. And yeah, I look at this character on the show and I think, well, if I was a woman that had daughters, I would hope I would be a good mom like Sam's character is. Because that means the world to me. Because I still want to have kids. I did an episode a couple podcasts ago about my view currently on children, adopting, and all that stuff. I still want to have my own children. I'm open for adoption. I'm very open with getting involved with a single mom. But the point is, I want to make sure that children are surrounded by people that love them, that care for them, but also is not going to talk down to them. It's going to treat them in certain appropriate ways as adults. You want to be open, you want to be a listener, but it's also you want to talk, you want to share knowledge. And, it's just, sometimes you become as a parent a punching bag. God knows I did that to my parents, and God knows the characters on this show has done that to Pamela Adlon's character. So I think that's why this show resonates so much with me, is that it reminds me of my mom. It reminds me a little bit of my sister, not as much, and it shows me what I could have been if I was born a woman and I got married young, hated men, and had a bunch of daughters to raise by myself. It just clicked with me. I don't know how else to say it. I just have such a strong emotional response to all of these characters, and I despise, dare I say, hate some of the daughters on the show because of what they do to her mother. But I would like to think that I get over those feelings. I understand all of her daughters except the oldest one, most of their daughters are teenagers. Up until the last season or two, the oldest daughter is in her 20s now. But you just see these kids grow up in today's society with the LGBTQ stuff, with the non-binary stuff, school shootings, the economy, Roe v. Wade. I mean, a bunch of shit. And I will say this, if you have a decent relationship with your mother, try the show Better Things. And if you have a great relationship with your mom, hey, congratulations. I do as well, but I would still check out Better Things. Now, if you have a really awful, hateful, spiteful relationship with your mom, you may not like it. And I'm sorry, I feel sorry for you that if you do have that relationship. That is a hellacious thing to have. I may bitch and complain about my parents, but I do love them. But good God, do they fill me up with plenty of trauma and plenty of fuck-ups. But there was plenty more areas of growth and positivity and love. So, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that. I also finished Moon Knight. Not as good as I hoped. I think the reviews are overhyping the show. I see that the standard rating of the show is like 8 or a high 7 out of 10. I wouldn't go that far. I think it deserves a 6 to a low 7. Oscar Isaac was good, of course, but it just seemed like it didn't have much of a direction. It was trying to do too much. It is what it is. It was entertaining, but it wasn't, it was good, but not great. I compare it to a little bit like The Northman. Good, but not great. Outer Range, new episodes coming out. today. The Expanse is still a brilliant, beautifully great show. I'm almost done with the current season. And hopefully this weekend, I will get to see the new Doctor Strange movie. I have avoided the spoilers, I've avoided the trailers for the most part. So I am going in with a virgin mind as best as I can. And yeah, I know we spoke a little about mothers to go back a little bit, but it is Mother's Day. I will be traveling to Bremerton, Washington to see my mom, take her out to a nice meal, chit chat with her a little bit, run some errands with her, and watch a movie or something. So yeah, hope whatever you do for your Mother's Day, you treat your mom right. Although I do understand that Mother's Day technically should be for the children because without us, they wouldn't be moms. So really, Mother's Day should be mothers praising us. But hey, what do I know? I kid. But anyway, I think we can move on here. Well, I was getting ready to wrap up here, but then I thought, let me just check the news one last time for anything weird or wacky. And lo and behold, the GOP did not disappoint. A GOP candidate accused of murdering his wife wins primary election from jail. Oh, but here's the real important question. Is he pro-life? A farmer from Boone County, Indiana, who is accused of murdering his wife, won a Republican primary election this week. Andrew Wilhoit was arrested in March on charges of killing Elizabeth Wilhoit, who, according to local news reports, had recently finished chemotherapy treatment for breast cancer. Andrew reportedly hit her with a flower pot during a fight, which killed her. On Tuesday, Andrew, from jail, secured a spot on the ballot in November's general election for the Clinton Township Board. 3 Republicans were running for 3 primary seats. Wilhoit received 60 votes. Indiana State Police charged Wilhoit with murder after the body of his wife was found in a creek near their home. She had reportedly filed for divorce after discovering her husband had an affair. Wow. I tell you, these pro-lifers are getting more and more crazy. His trial is slated to begin in August. Despite his legal troubles, there is no legal reason Wilhoit can't be a candidate, Indiana election official Brad King told the Kokomo Tribune. Kokomo? Isn't that a Beach Boys song? Kokomo. Yeah, man. Fucking Beach Boys. Under our system, you are innocent until you're proven guilty. If a person is convicted of a felony, then they are no longer eligible to be a candidate and are ineligible to hold office. Well, I'm glad these pro-lifers are getting the best candidates to run the country. Fucking Indiana, man. But, I mean, Trump did say that he could shoot someone in the head in New York, Times Square, and get away with it. And people laughed at it. But now in 2022, it's probably likely to happen. In fact, I would bet good money that nobody would give a fuck on the right if Trump blew away somebody in the middle of Times Square in broad daylight and everybody got it on their phones. I still think the GOP would nominate Trump to run again. Oh, God, this country. Oh, I tell you, I don't know why we don't get rid of the Electoral College and the filibuster and get some meaningful work done. But what the fuck do I know? I'm not running the Democrats' strategies come this November, as I should. I should be running it. And God knows Biden should hire me to run his re-election campaign, but what the fuck do I know? But with that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. A little short and sweet podcast. I didn't have anything crazy or a lot to talk about. Hope you enjoyed yourself. God knows I did. Oh shit, I almost forgot. I have a new stand-up comedian. Well, she's new to me. She's actually not new. She's been around for a little bit. But check out Adrienne Iapolucci's stand-up special. It's free on YouTube. It's called Baby Skeletons. Her name again is Adrienne. That is spelled the Italian way. Adrienne. Iapolucci. That is Iapalucci. Baby Skeletons. I know the comedian Ari Shafir hosted her special for free on his site if you can't find it. She's a little bit deadpanned, a little dark. There's going to be a lot of jokes that if you like to clutch your pearls, you probably will not like. She's a little bit like a female Anthony Jeselnik if you know the comedian world at all. So with that, I love y'all. Take it sleazy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't be a judgy cunt. And yeah, Thoughts and prayers for our country. I am surprised that GOP evangelicals don't go to abortion clinics with thoughts and prayers instead of trying to cancel everything out and make it illegal. Thoughts and prayers are what they use for real life children that get murdered in school shootings. You would think they would give unborn children the same treatment, but maybe I just don't understand the monkey brain that is the GOP evangelical voters. And I want to read a quote here from the Reverend Dr. Barbara Brown Taylor. She is the Buttman Professor of Religion from Piedmont College in Demorest, Georgia. I mean, that's a mouthful right there. She said, Jesus was not killed by atheism and anarchy. He was brought down by law and order, allied with religion, which is always a deadly mix. Beware those who claim to know the will of God and are prepared to use force, if necessary, to make others conform. Beware those who cannot tell God's will from their own. Wise words from a reverend, and I could not have said it any better. It is still stunning to me that any woman in this country would vote Republican and why anyone of color would vote Republican. I understand those viewpoints from those white women, or just, I guess white women make sense for Republicans, but any woman of color or people of color in general voting for Republicans, I hear what they say. All the Democrats are all promises and they lie. They're just as bad. And I would say yes, for the most part, they are just as bad. Moderate Democrats, moderate Republicans, not a lot of difference. But here's the main difference. The party of Democrats are not trying to take away equality. They're not trying to take away the right to vote. They're not trying to take away environmental protections. They're not trying to take away education in this country that makes our kids just less slightly retarded. That's what you have to ask yourself. And they use religion as a sword and shield, and it's ridiculous. I cannot believe the people of 2022 are falling for the same bullshit rhetoric that they've been falling for previous generations. I thought by now we'd get a little bit smarter, but if anything, we're just more divisive. But on that happy note, peace out, bitches. Take good care of your mother this weekend for Mother's Day. If you don't, I'll go over there and I'll take care of that MILF. All right, later.